Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next installment of Am I the Asshole? If you like hearing Reddit stories, it would really support the channel if you could like or subscribe. Let's get started with our first story. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my in-laws stay with us after they trashed my house last time? So here's the situation. A couple of years ago, my wife's female 34 brother, John, M36, and his wife, Sarah, F35, were going through a rough patch and needed a place to stay for a few weeks while they figured things out. My wife, being the caring person she is, asked me, male 37, if they could stay with us temporarily, and I agreed because family is family, right? Well, the few weeks turned into nearly 4 months. During that time, they completely took advantage of our hospitality. John treated our house like it was his own personal man cave, leaving trash everywhere and never helping with chores. Sarah wasn't much better. She kept borrowing things from our kitchen and bathroom without asking and never replaced anything. Our guest room looked like a tornado hit it when they finally left. The worst part, they had 2 kids, 5 and 7 at the time. And while I get that kids can be a handful, they were out of control. They would run through the house at all hours, break things, and scream over every little disagreement. My wife and I repeatedly asked John and Sarah to rein their kids in, but it always fell on deaf ears. After they moved out, it took us weeks to clean up the mess they left behind, and we even had to replace some broken furniture. My wife apologized, and we agreed that we wouldn't put ourselves through that again. Fast forward to now. John and Sarah are once again having issues and asked if they could stay with us for a little while they figure things out. Again. My wife immediately said yes, but I put my foot down and said absolutely not. I reminded her of the disaster that was their last stay and told her I wasn't willing to go through that again, especially since they hadn't apologized or acknowledged how badly they treated our home the last time. My wife is upset, saying I'm being heartless and that family comes first. She thinks I should give them another chance and says I'm overreacting, but I feel like I'm just setting boundaries. We have 2 kids of our own, and I don't want them to have to deal with the chaos that John and Sarah always seem to bring. Now my wife is giving me the cold shoulder, and her family thinks I'm the bad guy for not helping out in a time of need. So, am I the asshole for refusing to let my in-laws stay with us after they trashed my house last time? Family comes first. Your family too, right? Don't do it. I had a similar situation with a cousin. He left a terrible mess after he left. My partner talked me into letting him back, and 4 years later, I'm still mad about the mess he left and the way we were treated. Not the asshole. Well, this makes me feel so much more sure of my answer. If it has happened once, it will happen again. Fire back at the people who think that you should take them in again with, how about giving them some space in your house? Not the asshole, of course. What in the world is wrong with your wife? Does she routinely make decisions that will affect you without consulting you? I can't imagine being so thoughtless toward my spouse. She often never consults me about decisions that involve me. That is one of the things that annoys me the most. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's child-free wedding after she asked me not to bring my baby? My 34 female sister, 29 female, is getting married in 3 months. She's having a child-free wedding, which I totally respect. My husband, 35 male, and I have a 3-month-old baby. When my sister first told us about the child-free situation, I assumed there would be some flexibility for immediate family, especially newborns who can't be left alone. I talked to my sister and asked if we could bring our baby to the ceremony, explaining I am breastfeeding, and we don't feel comfortable leaving our baby with someone for an entire day. We have to fly into the town where she is getting married, and we don't know anyone there. So we would have to leave the baby with a stranger there, or leave the baby back home with someone we know for a long period of time. I am quite anxious about being away from our newborn for too long, which my sister knows. To my surprise, my sister was adamant that no children, including our baby, would be allowed at the wedding. She said it wouldn't be fair to make an exception for us when other guests are also not allowed to bring their kids. I asked if we could at least bring the baby for the ceremony and leave afterward, but she said no, explaining she wants a strict, no-kids atmosphere the entire day. I told her that if our baby couldn't come, we'd likely skip the wedding because it's too hard to leave our newborn for such a long stretch of time. We thought about the idea of just having my husband attend, but that also seemed a bit strange too. I also don't want to just leave the baby with my husband and go by myself. My sister got very upset with me, saying it's her special day and she feels like I'm putting our baby above her wedding. She even hinted that I should figure out how to detach from the baby for just a few days and that we should understand how important this event is for her. Maybe I am being unreasonable for not willing to leave my baby behind, but I just feel like I should be there for my baby at all times. Plus, I know how anxious I'm going to feel that entire day. My sister's argument is that it's her wedding and her rules, and while I respect that, I also think she should be more understanding of our situation. Am I really the asshole for refusing to attend her wedding if I can't bring my baby? Another day, another am I the asshole for not going to a child-free wedding, or variations thereof? After 5 million of these stories, it's still difficult to understand why those holding child-free weddings get upset when people with children won't come to your precious wedding. It's equally difficult to understand why those with children keep wanting exceptions for their rugrats. Not the AH for not going, not the AH for wanting a child-free wedding. There, I hope that clears it up for future posters. Also, as a side note, no one has a bullet to your head about funding a wedding you don't want to attend. Don't fund it and don't attend it. The only time anyone is an AH is when they make demands and or throw a fit. Kind of like the sister, not the asshole. I found it kind of funny when the sister accused OP of choosing her baby over her wedding. Yeah? A parent would choose their child over a party, even a really significant party. NAH. I mean, she doesn't want kids at her wedding. I get it. I've been to more than one where a squalling baby just interrupts the ceremony or speeches, etc. Some of the parents are awesome and rush the kid out of the room to calm it down. Other parents just cluelessly give a "what can you do?" and seem oblivious that they are interfering with things going on. Completely get it. That said, when I got to this part, she feels like I'm putting our baby above her wedding. She even hinted that I should figure out how to detach from the baby for just a few days, and that we should understand how important this event is for her. Whoa there, Nellie. Holy crap, your sister is a piece of work for this statement. So not the asshole. I suspect she may regret such statements once the wedding is over, or upon reflection. At least I would hope she does. Utter bullshit things to say. Further, your kiddo will be around 6 months old at that point. This is not to say that the previous months suck and aren't wonderful, etc., etc., etc. But around that 6 months mark, shit is getting awesome. Babies are laughing. They actually know you. The toy thing is kicking into gear and playing. They baby talk at you. You're doing the hold hands dance thing and they dig it. They're super fun. Sure, the poop starts getting serious, but, good with the bad. In the unsolicited advice section, I would have said perhaps this is where, since this is your sister, if you're good with flying with the kiddo, you do so. Then hubby just has the baby for a few hours while you do the wedding, and then you leave. However, would completely understand skipping this given sis's attitude. Why are you not willing to leave the baby with your husband while you go to the wedding? Is he incompetent? Edit. Just because it's not clear, OP doesn't have to travel alone and spend days away from her child. She can bring them along and breastfeed before or after the wedding. They would just have to leave the child with the dad for a couple hours. I was questioning why she wasn't willing to do that. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.